That's good. That's good.
Welcome back to Leonard Brothers Game. I'm David.
I'm John.
I'm good. I'm eating popcorn.
Now we're just playing one more episode, probably a flow. We'll just a general demonstration of how the game works and how relaxing it is compared to Don't Starve or other games. Not that I have that many games. For
Really
the PS4.
stressed out right now.
Really?
Look at my character. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well, I mean, if you'd stop just, twisting around like you're having a spasm or something, Let's find the red one. There we go, red one.
I'm so concerned with what to
the
eat.
backgrounds, like the music and the environment and stuff like too, they're all just...
I'm being attacked, David.
That game company really...
That doesn't... It's not soothing to me.
Soothing to me, no. And he died. So we gotta hit these guys to get some more health here. See, if we had used our ability to our advantage, in terms of going invisible,
But we just go invisible, like...
Yeah, I mean, we can still hit them, though.
Which one am I?
You're
okay,
the one
I'm
with
on
the
the right.
curl, yeah. See? Remember how the curly straight discussion? Okay, now we're back down.
Sorry.
Now we're back down even further.
I'm not trying to do that.
No, it's that's often. This is one of the first games that the company made, so it's got not necessarily the growing pains, but certainly things that they've learned about gameplay since then. It's like, okay, you can tell the shortcomings of this game and where they improved in later releases.
I'm invisible.
You got what's their weak points? Like the first introductions to the PS3, they had that giant enemy crab. Hit its weak point, glowing point for massive damage. Remember that?
I think part of our superpower makes us poisonous. Because when they've been attacking us, if you do your superpower right when they attack, they turn green and then they're frozen for a minute.
Pause them, yeah.
Paralysis.
Good deal. See, every character here has a certain strategy to it, unlike a lot of other games. I mean, the only other game I can think of in comparison to this, have you played Spore? The Sim.
I heard about it. But
yeah.
No, I never played.
Well, anyways, like John got it. It was a terrible personal story. We bought the game legit, and we paid the whole $50 for it, and the way it works, like a lot of because it's from Electronic Arts, and a lot of Electronic Arts games have those, password protection and other, lockouts to keep people from pirating the game. It's like we're being entirely legal, entirely, appropriate with this.
As you do every time.
As you do every time, of course. So we take the game home, we plug in the code, and they say the code has already been used. I mean, this is a sealed copy, brand new copy of the game, and we can't play it because someone else has apparently already randomly generated our code and entered it in before we could. So we bought the game.
We died.
And we had to pirate it. We didn't want to buy another copy. We couldn't really take it back to Meyer because their policy is once it's open, you can't return
That's it. Yeah, game
so
over.
we had to pirate our own code in order to use the game we bought. We were just like, and even after that, we still kind of, sort of. I mean, the issue with the game, though, is that it promotes evolution, pretty much.
Right, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it has this amoeba spore level.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I played the game
There,
for how
got
long?
him. Got him. Finally.
He's clue whatsoever, that's what it did. But anyways, on one hand it does that, on the other hand, a lot of people say it supports creation on the other hand, because you can't just let the game play itself. If evolution were true, the game, you just sit back and watch it as it grows on its own, but you have to control it, which means there's intervention. There's a conscious, divine intervention going on that tells you what to do, which means it really supports creationism.
Because ultimately, like, when you go up to the next level of creature, you design what that creature looks like.
You tell it where to go and what to do.
You say where the eyes are, where the arms are.
Without that, you die.
Yeah.
You give it purpose. You give it, it's
now,
intelligent design.
In the gameplay, for the early stages where you're an animal, you gain parts from what you're eating. So, like, from an evolutionary point of view, you get that from, you're limited as to what your choices are. But really, that's just, to lengthen the gameplay, to require you to experiment.
But from a purely gameplay perspective, not putting religion into it, people complain because the game is pretty much just 5 different types of mini games. There's the amiibo one where you're just rolling to survive. There's the animal one where you have dances and you're supposed to like tribal kind of thing. You're supposed to make buddies or enemies with the people around you and either work together or fight to survive. And then there's also like this Metropolis kind of thing, I guess. It's kind of a SimCity builder, and then there's also like a world. Once you get into space travel, you can go to basically the rest of the game is spent going from planet to planet and collecting resources and building up colonies and things. And so it's basically like 5 poorly designed mini games combined into one thing. And certain people like certain mini games, and you don't really stay in one section for too long before you have to move on to the next one. And so it was not very well received. The most impressive thing from it was the creature creator. So they had like all these different stages in terms of different body parts you put together to design these like multiple types of creatures that were like dependent. Like you could design like amphibians or birds or whatever other kind of creature you wanted, and create
You couldn't have wings.
Wings. You couldn't have wings. I don't know. Maybe that's an expansion. I think there are a couple of bonus packs that you can actually add more to. But the game was not that big commercial success. And with everything else that, the people backtracking, like EA, when they first released SimCity, they said, oh, it can't be offline. We have designed this game from the ground up to be an interactive online experience. We can't remove the... Because basically, if you don't have an internet connection, you can't play the game. Period. Which is just absolutely horrible, especially for people who are like overseas, How bad a connection is for people who are, serving abroad. They want to play this game, and they can't do it.
Sure.
So eventually, like the past week or so, they released a patch that says, oh, you can play offline now. And of course, a lot of people said it's like, oh, it's not just like flipping a switch and turning off this feature. This game's been built to keep denying the fact that, we have this fail-safe that if things aren't working out, like, people bought the game, like, massive amounts of people tried it on, like, even the first month. And people couldn't log in because everyone was trying to use the servers all at once, and they couldn't handle the bandwidth. They couldn't handle the strain.
Well, this game's been around for a long time, too. I mean...
Yeah, SimCity is like another staple.
They're just now...
And they're just,
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have 15 iterations of basically the same style of gameplay, and then suddenly you say, well, no, you have to do this online. That makes sense.
It ticks a lot of people off, and it was not, it was not good for the company.
Not well received.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, EA's...
You mean like the Healthcare Act?
More political, yeah.
On their website?
But EA's been making a lot of bad decisions lately anyway.
Oh yeah, everyone. I mean, they've been voted like I think 6 or 7 times like the worst company in the world.
Yeah, not just worst game company.
Just worst
Somehow
company, period.
They're still in business. That's what's weird.
Well, I mean, they have so many divisions, and they make Madden. They got the rights to like every year people buy tons and tons of copies of Madden, and that makes them more money than anything, pretty much.
And people keep buying.
Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily want to keep playing at this point. I think you got.
I think you're good.
Yeah, I think it made sense.
It's not quite 10 minutes, but I don't care if you have a long episode. So this will be a shorter one. Until next time, happy gaming.